thinking back, just your journey with Skier, what's one of the things that you, leaving Skier, that you would like to tell parents, students and staff working for the association? What's Skier about, and what did you most appreciate working for the association?
I think the thing that I most would like to tell people about working, after working for so long in Skier, is that this is an organisation that began with grassroots parents desiring an education for their children with a Christian perspective. And right from the very beginning, it set out to do this, and I believe it achieved it better than pretty well anywhere I can think of. So it's got a great, rich heritage, a Christian heritage. Then on top of that, it's always had the ability to find talented staff at the right time to develop and grow and assist schools to be developed in places where probably you wouldn't think schools would grow or be successful. So not only has it got a great heritage, but it also has a vitality and a dynamism that I haven't seen in any other organisation quite the same. Theoretically, on paper, this organisation shouldn't have succeeded like it has. It's the faith of those involved. It's the passion of the people who came to take up the roles in the beginning and right through to the very day that has made this a successful school movement and system that it is today. And I think pretty well every one of our schools is a vibrant, pulsing, dynamic place that students really get a good education within.
Now, you've worked for almost all the Skier schools.
Mm-hmm.
What can you tell us a bit about working for all of those schools? What do you think you can take from each of them that was special for you?
Obviously, my first school was at Midland Christian School, which was the first school in the Swan Christian Education Association, and that's now, of course, Swan Junior School. I think what I learnt in that school was that you don't have to have all the bells and whistles and all the fancy stuff to bring about good quality education, and we certainly didn't have that in the beginning. And we had rustic second-hand buildings of all kinds, second-hand furniture, and yet there was a heart in the place that was like I'd never experienced in any school I'd ever worked in before. That was the beginning. The other schools that I worked in, whether it be I then moved up to Kalamunda Christian School. Again, we started a school in a shopping centre. It should never have been successful. It was too far out in the back blocks. No one will come there, you'd think. And today we have Kalamunda Christian School and its lovely new facilities. It's just continuing to grow and develop as you would expect. And then, of course, I went to Mundaring Christian School for a short time, and there was another school that was growing and emerging out of the bush, literally. And to that school now is a wonderful credit to the organisation, but you could tell it was going to go somewhere because it always had this belief in itself. I also worked at Southern Hills, which was then called Emmaus Christian School, for a short time, and again you could see that there's something very deep and rich in the organisation that it's going to be successful eventually, even if it struggles initially. And of course, the last schools I worked at were Beachborough and Ellenbrook Christian College, and those schools are terrific communities. There's a terrific spirit amongst the parents in all of them, and I think that the only school I haven't worked in, which is Swan Christian College, we've modelled our school on that school here at Ellenbrook, so that we can try and capture some of that incredible spirit that they have, some of that drive and passion for what they're doing. So I guess from all of those schools, there's something incredibly wonderful about them, and I feel blessed and privileged to have worked and had connections with all of them.
So in terms of all the relationships that you've built throughout Skier, what are some of the most important things that you take with you in terms of the friendships that you may have built and just the relationships?
Yes, as I said, I've been in the organisation since its second year, and started at Midland Christian School, and in that time I got to know some amazing people of great faith and vision, people who could see way beyond our tin fabricated buildings that we had on leased land. People like Val and Alan Campbell, for a start, have been lifelong friends, and what and sharing my life with them and working with them has been fantastic. Wes and Muriel Mitchell are another two that have been with me over those years. But there were other people who had a huge impact on me, like board chairmen such as Fred Stience, amazing man of vision. Bill and Joan Grosser. I know Joan wasn't the board chairman, but Bill was, and Joan was a very influential person in those years. But also Brian Goodchild and a whole raft of other amazingly faithful people of God who came into the organisation at the right time, carried it through. And we saw meetings where we had big visions and big faith but no money, and within 12 months or less, money arrived and things got built and done, and we would just be in awe of the fact that God turned up and made the thing happen. Mm-hmm. And that's something I'll take with me forever, because I've never ever seen faith in action like it, and that's been a blessing and a privilege for me to experience.
So what impact do you think Christian education has on students, having worked with the organisation and have been involved in so many schools? What do you think is the thing that impacts on students most, and in what way?
That's a really good question, and I probably would have struggled to answer the question because of the lack of evidence and data. But since I've come to Ellenborough Christian College 10 years ago, this school was a school with the least number of students. It was a new emerging school in a new emerging suburb, and so the suburb was growing with people very fast, and they were coming from all sorts of backgrounds and other communities, and so the school was like a melting pot for pretty well students from anywhere. And so there was not a consistency amongst the student body. And what I've seen over the last 10 years is that the Christian message, the gospel message, and the Christian lifestyle values and principles, even if they don't embrace the Christian lifestyle as a faith embracing, but they embrace it as a lifestyle, a pattern and of living, for instance. I've seen students change radically from when they come into the school to when they leave the school, so much so that our students in Ellenborough Christian College, and I know they'd be the same at Beachborough or Swan, they are chosen for part-time work by employers in this area because they know the calibre of the kids. They turn up on time, they wear their uniforms right, they don't argue or talk back, they're reliable and they're trustworthy. They're the qualities they get in the workplace that I'm told are our students' qualities that they look for. So what I've seen clearly is that our principle, our gospel message, our Christ-centeredness does make a difference. All schools will educate, but our school will educate and give them a value system and a structure that is different to any other school, and that's what I've seen here. And still, I came here, I couldn't see it quite so quantitatively as I have. It's been absolutely wonderful to see.